She's a Tony Award winner for her work in the Broadway play Pearlie, and she's also a 2-time Grammy nominated singer songwriter. Let's just get into it. So I want you to go back because again I'm always interested in people's resolve, because back when artists were being broke, when you were coming out, you could only do one thing. How were you able to have a voice when everything else around was telling you can't do this and you have to only do one thing? How did Melba Moore get heard?
All right. Well, that's when I was married to my then husband, and we started having to manage me because we really couldn't find a manager that suited all of my needs.
Right.
Because by that time I'd already done television, a little bit of film,
right.
concert, recordings, and each person that we would approach said, well, you can do this, but you can't do that, because now we have somebody, say, for instance, like a Beyonce as an example, who does everything, and mainly probably because her parents managed her, and they believed in her, and, they helped her develop in all of the different areas. But
exactly.
At that time, it was very racist. People like Janet and Michael Jackson had not crossed over yet.
Right.
All the areas were separate, so everybody told you can't do this, you can't do that.
Wow.
Trouble is, every manager that told me I couldn't do something, I had already done it.
Wow.
I mean, this was after I got a Tony Award. Somebody's telling me, well, you can't do that because you're Broadway.
Right.
Because that was the racist thinking at that time.
Right.
On both sides, black and white. There were great barriers that still had to be crossed.
Wow.
So what happened is we started our own management company called Hush Productions, basically to manage me and to establish me as a recording artist. That's how I got my first recordings, like You Stepped in My Life, to some of the songs you were just playing.
Right.
But once we got me moving along and I was starting to have a great career, we started to take on other artists. And one of the things we did is we managed people like Kashif, who wrote, he and Lala, that's the name of the partner that he wrote with, wrote and produced Whitney Houston's first song that actually launched her career, You Give Good Love.
Right.
And we managed many of the great songwriters and artists and producers that have written some of the most popular songs. We managed Paul Lawrence, who wrote Rock Me Tonight, and he also wrote with Kashif, I believe, Make My Love Come Down by Evelyn Champagne, or Doobie Baby, or some of the other songs,
Right.
that I normally would not sing. I'm telling the story of my life, so there's a reason. So you see that, well, one of the reasons I'm still on the stage is because we had a business, and I learned business, and so now, of course, I can help, manage myself.
Right.
I have help, of course. I don't do it by myself.
Right.
But in the process of doing that, you can say, well, how are you doing that? Well, because this is where we began, and this is why it happened. We couldn't find a manager for me, so my ex-husband and I started managing me. We had great success, and so we then started bringing on some of the best songwriters and producers and artists of the 80s.
Tell me about how Lift Every Voice Sing became the Black National Anthem, if you will.
Well, I was the national membership chair for the National Council of Negro Women, which is headed by Dr. Dorothy Height.
Right.
And we would Lift Every Voice and Sing at all the conferences and meetings. And I also traveled all around the country with Mrs. Coretta Scott King, and especially Stevie Wonder, and particularly Jesse Jackson and some other Black caucus persons and congressmen, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, in working to help to get Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday a legal holiday.
Right.
And I would always sing Lift Every Voice and Sing as the song that was, the unifier. And eventually, in 1990, I recorded it when I was still with Capitol Records, and B.B. Winans produced it and helped me to get all the other different artists that we did. That was the first time I recorded it.
Right.
And my political colleagues there that I'm just mentioning now, the Black Caucus people, Jesse Jackson, several others, helped me to get it entered into the congressional record as the official African American national anthem.